Welcome back to my channel. I am your favorite mother of three, bougie vintage. Oop, now I got a jingle, girl. I am back, darlings, with first of all, I'm living for this look today. But I am back, okay, with a little video for you. 5 things I've learned about myself since leaving a toxic relationship. And so coming in at number 5, one thing that I've learned about myself since leaving a extremely draining and toxic abusive relationship is that I'm resilient and I'm strong, but that I don't have to be all the time. And obviously thanks to singleness, I realize all the time I don't have to, be the strong one. And quite frankly, it feels like a trauma response to always be strong. But through my last situation, I have learned that it's okay to cry, it's okay to scream, it's okay to get it out. One of the biggest things that saved me outside of the Lord Jesus Christ was my journal entries. And I think because I was in so much pain and confused all the time, I had to journal to get whatever I was feeling out. And so when I got those feelings onto the page, it kind of emptied my body, it emptied me spiritually, and it gave me some sort of release so that I wasn't holding on to whatever I was going through. And that was on purpose, right? Since I was a little girl, I've always kept a journal. My mom had always encouraged journaling, and I love to write. Fun fact, I used to want to be an English teacher, but because I always felt like I needed to have that outlet all the way into my adulthood, I would journal, and I had been journaling all throughout my relationship because that was my norm, right? And so when I read the journals back last year, after I had gone through everything I had gone through, the journals validated me in my feelings, which was obviously great for me because I thought I was crazy, right? But when I was writing the actual journals, I was just releasing whatever I was feeling inside. But when you write the journal, you don't really go back and read it until way after the fact. You just write it to write it. And so I was just putting my feelings on the page and talking about what I was going through and, putting my experience with my, at the time, partner down, not anticipating that one day I'm going to read this journal back and be kind of shocked at what I was reading. And so the journal really let me know just how resilient I am and just how strong I had to be in those moments, because when I was writing those journals, a lot of the times I wasn't crying, but there would be the odd times that I was crying. And if I was crying, I would write down the fact that I was crying. And so when I went back to read the journals and saw how hurt and frustrated I was, but still came on YouTube every week and presented as a strong person. And I am strong, but I wasn't feeling strong in those moments. And so, allowing yourself to go through certain processes, or just, going through the motions of life and having your life experiences, but still always showing up, to your job, or, to be a mom, to be a dad, whoever you are in this world, showing up and being your best self while you're going through hell is one of the greatest examples to me of being a resilient person. And I think this whole entire process has let me know it's okay to not be that all the time, because it's not that when I was going through what I was going through, I was hiding it. I was just not aware of what I was going through until, hindsight, right? But also it was just me living a private life. And so sometimes I get these comments more recently where it's saying that I hid what I was going through so well, but it's just I didn't hide it. It just was not something that you just openly talk about, or even if you don't know you're going through it, you don't know you're going through it, right? You're trying to figure it out. So if I'm trying to figure it out, how am I going to come and be hey y'all, what y'all think about this? I don't know, y'all. So like, you know what I mean? Like I never tried to make a facade or put a facade that, you know, it was happy-go-lucky all the time. And I never ever really made my relationship the focal point of my channel, because obviously there's a lot of channels out there like that where they have these couples channels, and then a few years down the line you see that it was not all sunshine and rainbows and it was like a business transaction or something like that. And that's not really what my situation was. So I don't think we can really compare to that, because my channel was always about me and, you know, just different phases of my life, but not necessarily, you know, me and my ex. So I would never say that I was hiding it. Absolutely not, because I never came on here and was like, we are couple goals. Actually, I was doing the opposite. I was sending y'all subliminal messages telling y'all it's not peaches and cream over here. Please save your girl. And y'all was like letting it go over your head. I was putting it in my Instagram captions. If you haven't watched those videos, then, you know, go watch those videos. I'll try to link them below. I might forget. I was sending y'all subliminal messages. So I was never hiding the fact that, you know, I was in some kind of horror film, but I also wasn't just, you know, super open with it the way I am now that I'm outside of it, which would probably not have been safe to do anyway. So yeah, that is number 5 on my list of things that I've learned about myself since exiting the toxic zone. But if you are in that position where you know, feel like you have to be strong all the time, or, you know, you feel like nobody's there for you but maybe God, or, you know, somebody, girl, your mama, I don't know. If you feel like you have no friends, or you feel like there's nobody you can go to in your time of need, keep your journal and get your feelings out on the page, and then revisit them later to see where your mind was at. Because honestly, I had no idea how bad it was until I was reading my journals back, and I was like, the frig? Where did this come from? You know what I mean? So now that I'm out of the situation, I just feel like I don't have to, you know, I can just be honest and open and candid about what I'm going through, what I've gone through, how I'm feeling. I don't have to present like I'm okay when I might not be, you know. I can get on my YouTube live with my members and be boo damn hooing and, you know, letting them know this is what I'm going through right now. I'm not about to act like me and my Chanel bag are all good and dandy in the hood when we're not. I don't have a Chanel, but like, you know what I'm trying to say. Anyway, let's move on, okay? Let's go to number 4 on my list of things that I've learned about myself since leaving my toxic relationship. So number 4 on my list is I thought that I had boundaries, but I did not, okay? And when I did have boundaries, I often moved my boundary post because of a number of factors that when I look back on it now don't make any damn sense. I think a big part of the problem in the dating world, especially if you start dating somebody when you're quite young and haven't fully matured or developed or have had any life experience or any real like relationships outside of a high school one, perhaps, you can find yourself in a certain space that you don't necessarily know how to maneuver in. I think I thought I had boundaries because a lot of the time when you look at other people's relationships or like reality TV, whatever it is, you see stuff happening to other people and you like, couldn't be me, okay? And so when I would watch Love and Hip Hop, I would always, in my mind, even before Love and Hip Hop, let me just go back. In my mind, I always was like, cheating is a no, okay? Done deal. Not gonna cheat on me because baby, I mean, look at me now. It's not happening. You know, I'm not gonna allow anybody to cheat on me. Like, that's crazy. But then it happened, and based on circumstances, my boundary post got moved. Because realistically, when I was cheated on, I should have never have tried to rationalize it. I should have never have been like, well, he didn't actually cheat. He only intended to cheat. Baby, intention is all you need. Okay, and so it took therapy and, you know, talking to my therapist and learning about what boundaries actually are and how you actually can't move them, because if you move your boundary one time, you're gonna move it again for whatever reason. Now, my situation was obviously not a normal situation, right? It was a little bit more severe and there's a little bit more underlying things that were not public knowledge, right? Now they are now. Well, because of all those other factors and because at that point I had started my family, yada, 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 my boundary post got moved, right? And so that was one instance, but like there had been so many other times that my boundary post had moved. cheating is one thing, but like, I don't know. I moved my boundary post before the relationship even started, when I decided I was going to give this person a try and like date outside of my race, because that was a boundary post for me, you know. Not to say like, oh, black people should only date black people and white people should only, no, that's not how I feel. But for like myself, like it was just out of my comfort zone, and so I moved my boundary post at that point. And you know, it was domino effect from there. But like, this is not to say that somebody of my own race would not do me as dirty as the person that was outside of my race did me, because I don't believe that either. I believe that if somebody is a narcissist, that's just who they are, and whatever happens in that narcissistic relationship is what happens. But I was constantly moving my boundary post, right? And so with the cheating thing, I was like, okay, well, because I had a family at that point, okay, well, he didn't actually get to go and do it. It blew up in smoke. Yes, because I blew it up in smoke, or God did actually, but like God did. Because that situation happened and like it blew up in smoke, I moved my boundary post from cheating to, well, it didn't actually happen, and like he didn't like cheat and like bring a baby home and like disease home. Like, why am I moving the boundary post? The boundary post is the boundary post. Whatever the boundary is, just keep it what it is. If you say these are my hell no's and these are my yes ma'ams, and somebody comes and they do a bunch of the hell no's, you can't just be like, okay, well, there's 4 hell no's here and he did 1, so we just gonna stick around and see if he does another one. Like, no, don't move that boundary post. If this is on your list of absolutely not, and you decide to bend the rules for somebody because of whatever reason, just understand that that is going to be the catalyst for you to have to bend again and again and again, and before you know it, you broke it. Okay, so you can only bend so much, right? And we're not talking about something, you know, minuscule. Like, I have a boundary where you can't have a snaggletooth. Like, not something like that that's cosmetic. Like, okay, that's a bad example. Not something that's like a character flaw, something ridiculous. Like, I don't even know what example to use. The point is, this is my number 4 because I now set my boundaries and do not allow them to get crossed for any reason. So I know what I want. I know what I would look for. And unfortunately, after going through what I went through, I can't just be moving my boundary post around, because I was moving it around like I didn't have no damn sense. Okay, like I was just moving the damn boundary post all the damn time to accommodate someone else's needs. But the fact of the matter is, you cannot set yourself on fire to keep somebody else warm. And that's what I was doing. And when you wake up to that and you realize, okay, I thought I had boundaries, but I really didn't. And I don't even know if I had a morsel of a boundary. I don't think I really understood what boundaries were, because every time I set a boundary down and it was crossed, I would give another chance and forgive and, you know, give grace, because I'm making excuses for the person. But you can't do that, because baby, you're all out of excuses and all out of luck and all out of this and that, and before you know it, you're just, you know, standing around with your dick in your hands, like and that was me. And so boundary moving is just not on the table for me at this stage in my life, because that was like in my 20s. In my 20s, I'm gonna move that boundary post, but like, I really wish that there was somebody there guiding me and telling me, you can't do that. But because I was really not the one to openly discuss my relationship or marital issues or whatever, or go to anybody for advice, I couldn't really even get those words of wisdom from anybody. It would have to literally be somebody saw something, witnessed something, and come to me and tell me, hey, this happened with y'all and I don't like that, you know, and allow me to see it that way, right? So set your boundaries and don't move them. And that's how I'm moving in this, you know, stage of my life. Like, I don't do liars. I don't do criminals. I don't do faithless men. You need to be a God-fearing man, okay? I don't do shenanigans, okay? I just don't. I really don't have time for anything, okay? So the boundaries that I have now cannot be. They're barriers with spikes on top, and like, it's just, they won't be crossed. So number 3 on my things that I learned about myself since leaving my toxic relationship is, this is a long ass title, girl, that I still believe in love despite understanding that there was not much of it in my obviously last situation. So, and I call it a situation because girl, it was a situation. Okay, mayday, situation up ahead. Girl, call the Paw Patrol. We need to get to the pups to the tower, girl. Because what the hell? Not even Paw Patrol could have solved my issue. Okay, but like, honestly, I still believe in love, despite that my last relationship was one-sided and not real at all. You know, real to me, but not real to my ex, right? And so when you realize that, you might not believe in love, right? You might be like turned off from it, but I'm not, baby. I still love love. I love to see love. I love to feel love. And I don't think anything could ever make me not love love, you know, as terrible and as horrific as my last relationship was. I still believe in love, and I still believe that, well,
no ma'am, no ma'am.
Log out.
I still believe in love, girl. That's all that matters. Okay, I'm not gonna get into that. Get out of my business. Ooh. So that's number 3, that I still believe in love, and nothing could ever make me not believe in love. The only problem there, though, is that despite the fact that I believe in love, I don't believe in commitment, girl. The only thing that I believe in committing people to is straitjackets and white walls and grippy socks. Okay, certain people. Narcissistic people, okay, but like that's the only commitment I believe in. I don't really believe in commitment at this point, not for me at least. Other people, yeah, but like I've been there, done that, won't do it again. I ain't trying to get married again. Like, no ma'am, no.
Get somebody else to do it.
You can keep it, okay? That is a jail sentence in itself. I'll be in love with somebody and like we will be together forever, but like I ain't gonna marry no nigga. Are you crazy? Anyway, that's number 3 on my list. Number 2 on my list is I need to trust myself and trust my gut way more, because all the times that I have not followed my gut, my instinct, girl, the Holy Spirit, well, I landed myself in serious problems. All the times that I've ignored my gut feeling, I had to pay for later. But being in a toxic relationship will often, especially a narcissistic abusive one, will often make you second guess yourself and question yourself because of all the gaslighting and the manipulating, right? And so you never know left from right, up from down, your head from your booty hole. You don't know. And until you experience it, you will probably judge it. But like until you actually experience it and talk to people that have been through it and research it for yourself, you might not fully grasp or understand how people end up in those situations. But it's so complex. And in those situations, because you're constantly told you're crazy and being made to feel crazy, even when you know without a shadow of a doubt what you're saying is right, they will still have you questioning yourself because they're so good at what they do. Now, because of that, you start to ignore your gut. You start to, dismiss your gut, and you will pay for it later. That's for sure. That happened to me, obviously, and it took a lot of confidence rebuilding in myself to learn to trust myself again, because I had made so many mistakes along the way that I had to learn to trust myself again, because I felt like I made such bad decisions that I can't trust myself to make any decisions. So that's why I'm constantly, in prayer and asking God to like help me and guide me, because the last time I tried to make a decision by myself, Lord, things went a little awry. So can you help me out here? But like I really don't trust myself to make certain decisions. And so I've had to constantly be working on trusting myself again after leaving the toxic relationship. And I think a lot of people go through that, because you end up in this space where you're like, how did I let this go on for so long? How did I not see it? How did nobody else, see it? Like, how did I get to this point? And I think that it's a big problem for survivors of this type of abuse, because if you're constantly being gaslit and confused and questioning yourself and your sanity in a situation or in a relationship, when you get out of that relationship and you look back and you see, oh my God, how did I miss this when it was smacking me in my face? You will kind of doubt yourself, you will lack that confidence in your decision-making skills, because you're like, I don't want to make another big mistake as I've made in the past. And so I had to relearn how to trust myself and trust my gut, you know. And so though I do spend a lot of time praying and asking God for that help, it's only because I feel like for a good chunk of time I left God out of my decision making, and baby, problems. So I'm looking for peace, girl. I need peace, and peace always. And so that's why I, you know, now I'm still learning how to trust myself again, because in the past, when I've had gut feelings and I've ignored them, I see later on down the line why I shouldn't have ignored them. And so I'm just, you know, like I said, learning to trust myself again. So that being said, coming in at numero uno on 5 things that I've learned about myself since leaving my toxic, draining, narcissistic, abusive relationship is I abso-freaking-lutely love my own company. Sometimes people don't like their own company. Girl, I love my own company, okay? I love being alone. I love being by myself. I love...
like, I literally just didn't know what to say.
Sir, turn it down. I love my own company. And I feel like after you go through something as traumatic as I went through, some people are scared to be alone after that, you know, for many reasons, because of mental health. You know, they get in their head and they're just thinking horrible things, or they're having intrusive thoughts, or this, that, and the third. But like, I personally love my own company, and I love to sit and just be with myself, you know, be with God. Girl, I just sleep so good at night. I just be sleeping so good at night, not having to worry about where my man is and this, that, and the third. Like, I love my own company. And I think it's like so refreshing and almost feels like a cleanse to just spend time alone and be by yourself after you break up with somebody. I don't really understand how people jump from relationship to relationship, because like, don't you need some time for yourself, some time for your walls,
Miss Jackson?
you know what I mean? Like, don't you need a little bit of time for yourself, like, to figure out who are you, you know, without this person, especially if there was codependency there. Like, who are you? Do you have something to rebuild? Did this person try to like strip you down to like nothing? Like, you know, figure yourself out, figure out what you like about yourself so that you can present your best self forward, not just for another relationship, but like to the world, you know, to yourself and for your family and whoever that you love or that you will be in love with. And so I think it's really important to love your own company, because if you don't love yourself, how in the hell can you go wait, what's RuPaul say? Because if you don't love yourself, how in the hell you gonna love somebody else? Can I get an amen up in here? Okay, shout out to RuPaul's Drag Race. Like, if you can't love yourself and don't love yourself, you could never love somebody else in a relationship. And that's why it's important to spend time with yourself after you break up with somebody. And obviously that doesn't have to be for an abusive relationship or a narcissistic relationship. It doesn't have to be for anything of that nature, just a breakup in general. You know, you shouldn't be hopping from relationship to relationship. Always take time to refresh yourself, to learn about yourself, and to reset and like learn your boundaries. Know what your boundaries are. You know, if there's anything that you could do better in a relationship, learn that about yourself, so that when you are presented with a relationship, you know how to maneuver in that relationship. So it's important to get to know yourself, because if you don't know yourself, you will lose yourself when you are with somebody. And so that's why I personally love my own company, because, well, girl, I'm a ball. I just love getting back to me and like, you know, getting to be this version of me where I'm a single mom and I'm having a freaking blast, you know? And so I'm always going to love learning new things about myself and like, you know, finding out what talents I got hidden inside of me and all kinds, and, you know, allowing myself to be my true authentic self without somebody trying to tear me down or speak down on me. And I think that's why I'm you know, loving my own company, because I can be proud of what I'm doing and proud of how I'm doing it without somebody coming in to criticize it in a negative way to hurt me. Because it's one thing if you're like, show somebody your artwork, right? You know, girl, if you're an artist, you know, right? But if you show somebody your artwork and instead of them saying like, oh my gosh, that's so nice, and they don't know not the first thing about art, the first thing that comes out of their mouth is something negative, and or asking you like, why did you make the nose like that? Like, that's not how the nose is supposed to look. You be like, can you just admire the artwork and shut up? Like, can you paint? And it's different, obviously, if you go to somebody and you're like, hey, does this nose look funny to you? Like, it's bothering me as the artist. You know, if you say that to somebody and they're like, yeah, actually it kind of does, that's different. If you're proud of your artwork and you go and show the person that you love most in the world your artwork, and they tear you down or it down, or like they say something purposely to hurt you because they probably can't do what you do and they are jealous of you, or they're constantly doing something like that, like they never have anything positive to say, obviously it's gonna, you know, affect you in some way. And so it's so nice now that I don't have that, right? I could just look at my artwork and admire my artwork and just, you know, be happy with my artwork without somebody being nasty about it. And so nasty because they want to hurt you. Like, it's a different feeling, you know. It's horrible. But I really learned to just love my own company. And I was actually kind of forced to love my own company anyway, because I was so alone while I was in my situation, right? And so I've actually always loved my own company. But now it's gone to another level of loving my own company and enjoying my own company and being around myself, because some people, like I said, truly don't want to be alone or can't be alone because they either need somebody else to feed off of, or because they're scared to be alone because they don't like themselves. And like, I just can appreciate myself, right? And I think for a long time I didn't appreciate myself as to why I allowed certain things that I necessarily wouldn't have allowed otherwise. So it's just a growing pain, I guess, and a growing period and a growing process. So that is the fifth and final thing of things I learned about myself since leaving my toxic relationship. And in the comment section below, I want you guys to tell me things that you learned about yourself since leaving your toxic relationship. And child, what is this children doing, girl? All I hear is hollering. But I would love to read about it, hear about it, see about it. So let me know in the comment section below what you guys have learned. And if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. I love you all so much, and I'll definitely see you in the next one.